have smart lights in my house. So if someone comes into my home, they're flipping the switches and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Like, I know the process it is to work through to get to something. But if you came in behind me or if you're staying at my house, you don't know the process. So that's what a lot of the smaller businesses are lacking. They're lacking process and putting processes in place for someone else to come behind them and do it. Because my goal is to ultimately because I have a lot of creative clients, I feel like regardless if you're a small business, you are a creative. You have created this idea. So I want you to focus on that and continuously building on that idea that you built instead of the processes.
All right, what's up, everybody? It is Abby, and I'm here with another episode of Modern Day Unicorns. And today I have my homie Tamirah. We go way. It's way back now. Way back.
It's way back.
It's way back. But I had to get her on here. She's doing so many wonderful things, and I need her to share it because she definitely has encouraged me and helping me see what's possible. And so I appreciate it. Tamirah, I'm over here because I'm drawing a blank because I'm just like, you've been doing it. You've been doing whatever you've been doing. And so I'm excited to hear more about it. Like, I follow you and we've had, separate conversations. But yeah, I want you to introduce yourself to the people first, and then we'll dig into all of your ventures as well.
Oh, okay. It's funny. I think I literally have been, Instagram is like moving towards reels and not photos. So I've been practicing on my short speech, like, what do I do? So what do I do for the majority of the day? I am a business manager for small businesses. I like to get at that not even the very first, I guess, couple of years, but somebody that's just starting out that I can grow with, that I really believe in. And I kind of am some of them make me the captain of their entire ship because they just want to be in a creative space, which is totally okay as well. And some people, I'm just like the co-captain, kind of coming up with logistics, kind of helping with financial objectives, operational objectives, trying to figure out strategic budgeting and all types of things. I have 2 degrees. Both of them are in accounting. I graduated from Georgia State in a business administration degree, concentration in accounting, and then I went and got my master's from Clark Atlanta in accountancy as well. I worked in corporate America for 6 years, and I left in 2019, and I have been solely focused on my business management company, Bert+Smit.
Now we're going to unpack that because you said a whole lot right there, which is dope. And so for the back history, Tamirah and I went to high school together, and she's been, doing her thing ever since. Like she said, she went and got her degrees, was into accounting. I actually didn't want to go to college, but I had to because it was the right thing to do. But for somebody like you who went in knowing exactly what you wanted to do, attained it and killed it, went into corporate America and things of that nature, and you had goals, like you really liked accounting. Can you dig a little bit deeper into liking accounting, having a good job in accounting, but then making the shift? I know you've always had your hand in many things, even from when we were younger. But what made the like? Why were you in accounting, and then what ultimately made you leave?
I was in accounting because my mom was in accounting, and I was just like, oh, this. So first, I guess once I was in high school, I was like, oh, I want to be a real estate agent. I love looking at houses. I've always loved looking at HGTV, and I'm just like, I could do this. I could sell a house. Like, it's a house. But then, the housing market when we graduated high school was complete trash. So I was like, oh my gosh, now I have to pivot. I did not want to do something else, but I knew I wanted to do something with math conceptually. I knew I didn't want to be a math teacher because they just don't get paid. But my mom was in accounting, so I was like, oh, I'll see what this is about. She seems not stressed, but she was learning how to separate from business and personal. And when I got in corporate America, I figured out that everybody is stressed. So, yeah, here I am. But then when I left corporate, um, I just took bits and pieces from accounting to help apply to smaller businesses instead of like, um, I don't need to be a managing partner of an accounting firm. Like, I want to help people that look like me, and people that don't. Maybe maybe they don't look like me, but I want to help them to kind of grow and scale their business. And I've been able to do that, so that makes me happy instead of being a number per se in a bigger organization.
And I think that's key, that so many times it is the small to medium sized businesses that go under because they're just unaware of what it takes to run a business financially. Even I myself, like, I just went off on my own, completely clueless as to what's going on. Probably don't want to read anything, but it is something to where people with the knowledge that leave that corporate structure to help out those individuals. So I just want to thank you for doing that, and knowing that it is so needed. What are some of the things that you think small to medium sized businesses are missing in terms of what you fill in the gaps for,
Okay.
what you offer? How do you come in?
Process. Every single one of them is process. It's just like, because I do this the same way. Like, I have smart lights in my house. So if someone comes into my home, they're flipping the switches and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Like, I know the process it is to work through to get to something. But if you came in behind me, or if you're staying at my house, you don't know the process. So that's what a lot of the smaller businesses are lacking. They're lacking process and putting processes in place for someone else to come behind them and do it. Because my goal is to ultimately because I have a lot of creative clients, I feel like regardless if you're a small business, you are a creative. You have created this idea. So I want you to focus on that and continuously building on that idea that you built instead of the processes. So however they may do it. So I have a client who makes luxury fedora hats. They need a process to come in to build out a fulfillment team. You know what I mean? So the way that we do it, maybe just like, okay, well, I'm going to come in on a Sunday after I've done all these other things and figure it out. But at some point, you want somebody else to come in and do that same process, but you want them to do that process with them being hands off. Like, I don't want to have to sit there and micromanage you do this process. So I'm big on like desktop procedures. That's what you call it in corporate America, desktop procedures, but processing, and creating flows that work. And flows are always working because there's always new technology. So we could start off with something today and then it changes a year from now. Or another technology is created. So we're trying to implement this into it now. What I've seen is this like new thing for shipping because of COVID, and so many people are losing packages, or UPS or whomever just weren't delivering them. We don't know. They were taking them for themselves. Create this thing called route protection, which protects that your package is going to get to you. And it's like, if I've already paid for shipping, why do I now need to have to pay for another protection to make sure my package gets there? So to me, the biggest thing is just figuring out processes, and then cash flow as well, which is probably my strong suit. Because we spend, and we don't realize like how much these things are going to cost, or when we're going to recoup our money, or when we're going to get our money back. So I help my clients kind of not spend so much, or know when to not spend so much, and just kind of go through. It's still a process with that, is how they are spending their money and what makes the most sense, and do we need to buy this amount of inventory, or should we buy this? So it's constant conversation. I literally probably talk to all of my clients once a day. And some of them are more like I want to talk to you before I move a penny. And others are like, well, yeah, I spent $1,000 today, but I was going to tell you afterwards because I know you was going to be upset. So I'm telling you now. So processes and cash flow are probably the like biggest, like the biggest things I feel like smaller businesses are lacking.
What I like about your process right now is that you went and got a traditional degree. You learned whatever you learned when you were in corporate America and got the knowledge, and then became your own business owner, to which you helping other businesses sustain. With that being said, at what point for these new businesses or these businesses that may have been, around, at what point in time would you suggest that they look for getting a service like yours? Because I think that after somebody has started something, the next hurdle is, making money, and then the next hurdle is making sure that they keep money or they keep generating money. But as things grow, or hopefully grow, when do they start to need to reach out for other business management, services?
I would on it to me personally, I think it should be immediately, and maybe you don't need my services. My services, like I usually am on a monthly retainer with my clients. Maybe it's starting off, you're just doing quarterly. But I'm kind of coming in those initial phases to make sure that you have some type of processes like set up. I would say immediately because like, you know how you start, that's how you're going to finish. You know what I mean? So, and you can always come in and change things later on. But I think having a business manager or somebody there to just kind of be that checks and balances for you is what you need immediately, especially if you're taking your business seriously. If you've left corporate America and this is your full-time job, like you need somebody to be there to be your checks and balances. Like even if it's not somebody that's completely separate from your business, I don't know, maybe you have a spouse that can help you as well, but you need somebody to be there for your checks and balances. Like even the way you handle customers, or if you actually have a product, like shipping things or whatever the case, like that could be very tiresome, which takes you away from the original thought. Is like, I had this idea, I implemented this idea, I need to now figure out how to expand that idea. If I decided to sell a mug, I can only continue to sell this one mug for so long before everybody that I know and everybody around the world has this one mug. Now I have to create variations of this, or create something that goes in the mug, create you know what I mean? So you have all these ideas. So I feel like when you stress yourself out and put extra responsibilities on yourself, you're not gonna, your doors are gonna be closed faster than what you think they are.
So let's get into the fact that not only do you help other people run their businesses and establish these processes so that they can be more successful, but that you have other businesses that you are managing yourself as well, that you also own. Like what else do you do?
Oh my gosh. It's funny because I could be talking to somebody and I'd be like, oh, I totally forgot about this other thing that I do. I'm like, child, get it together. So I do have a cleaning company as well. And I have what's important to me is like, I have like how I'm saying I have that checks and balances. I have like other companies where I have that checks and balances. No longer am I trying to do this by myself. My business, even my business management firm, I have people that help me with that as well, because I couldn't focus on trying to build out. Like I kept offering, I'm continuous, like, yes, my knowledge is time. My knowledge is what pays me, but I have to figure out a way to create residual income even from my business management firm. I think it's always to go into a company with a partner, and you don't have to be 50-50. You know what I mean? You could be 80-20, you could be 90-10, or whatever the case may be. Or even if you want to split it with three ways, I think that it just makes it easier for you to have a checks and balances system and somebody to tell you like if that doesn't make sense or that's not sounding correctly. So honestly, like I it's so many things that happen, and I'm overwhelmed. So just the cleaning company, business management. I've gotten with a group of girls that want to start doing some other things, like far as like, investing and things like that. So it's always something. And I appreciate people coming to me and asking me, because I feel like they believe in me to help their idea go further, or to be like a springboard for them as well. Like, I appreciate that so much more than somebody just saying, hey, I want to pay for your services. Like, people say they'll pay for my services, but they still want to be in control. And if I figure that out within the first 3 months or the first 90 days, I usually, some people say fire, whatever, but I usually say, hey, this isn't going to work out. Like, so.
So in short, you diversify. So whatever opportunity comes that you've weighed the benefits of it.
I try to do, and I try to do things that I like genuinely love. Like, I have a cleaning company. I love to clean. Like, I think that I like to clean my own house. Not to say I like to clean anybody else's house, but I have cleaners that go in and clean other people's spaces. Like, I think when you just walk in a home and it smells fresh and it looks nice, like, you can appreciate the value of the home more, which probably goes back to me wanting to be a real estate agent so many years ago. I do want to get into like sneaker reselling. I know I've always had sneakers. I wish I could show you my sneaker closet. It's gotten even worse. It's like spilling into the living room right now. It's terrible. But then I think now I'm on this thing where I want to figure out how to create residual income. And I know that comes because everything is moving digitally, I need to figure out that space. So that's where I'm at right now, trying to figure out that space. Like, I'm not going to do anything that doesn't interest me. Like, if somebody came to me and said they have a reptile business, T.O. doesn't like reptiles, so I'm completely out. Like, nope, not going to do it. You could pay me $1 million. Nope, I am not going to do it. So I definitely have to believe in it and have to do things that I love. But I will diversify, but it has to be something that I'm genuinely like interested in.
And I think that's important. Too many times I think we are just looking for the next payday. We're doing something that, we have zero interest in or very little interest in. So I'm reading this book. I'm in the process of reading. It's called Disrupt You. And in the book, it was talking about, us pretty much looking through all the things that we're interested in, all the previous jobs that we had that we may have enjoyed, and creating opportunities within that realm that just disrupt other things. So with you saying you enjoy cleaning, it's just, who else would be like, oh yeah, I enjoy cleaning, let me make a cleaning business. But I feel like, especially with our people, there's so many things that maybe just a little bit, just odd, or people just don't want to do it, that they can say, let me start this business. That's what, small business is all about, is, being that middleman to do the things that people don't want to do. That's why so many people get their hair and nails done, because they just don't want to do it.
No, not at all. I don't want to do my nails. I don't want to do my hair. I don't want to do any of that. I want a chef and I want a driver. Like, those are my two next things on my list. So.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like, people out there, like, if you love to drive, people, doing Uber and all that other stuff. But those are just ingenious ideas of things that we do on a daily basis, or that we don't want to do on a daily basis, that, there's plenty of opportunity to do that. And that's great. So as we move forward, I want to thank you for your time thus far. But and understanding that you did the school thing, you're running your own business, you're diversifying your portfolio, your opportunities, the things that you have your hand in. What do you see for yourself in the future, or what, as you're in this thing, you have the business, what do you see yourself in maybe like the next 5 to 10 years? How will you? You said a word earlier about like pivoting, and I really like that word. But where do you want this to go?
So I definitely want my like business management firm to grow. When I was an undergrad, I worked for a business management firm that managed a bunch of like entertainers. I don't want to be, let me not say that, because you never know what God has for you. I am cool on the entertainment space right now. But I still want to still manage like the small business, but build my firm out, to maybe have a couple of like account managers, have like a physical space instead of me like going to my client's office all the time. Maybe they could come to me and I can kind of create the ambiance. Um, but also too, maybe become the CFO of one of my, or a couple of my small businesses, organization, because I truly believe in all of them, and I do believe that we can grow into multi-million, billion-dollar companies. So I wouldn't mind continuously being a part of their management team or their executive management team. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I say I really like to start at like the grassroots, ground level. So we can grow, so you can see my worth, and so we're all growing together. And it's not just like I'm coming in as a CFO or executive management, I don't know, after they've been in business for, 10 or 15 years, and they're like, I have to get to know this person. It's like, no, I've grown with this person. This is family. Like, even my company name is, Bert+Smit is after my grandmother. So I've always like everything, all the decisions that I do make are rooted in love. They're rooted in family. So I want to, your family grows, and I want to continue to grow with, my, the organizations that I'm doing right now, the organizations that I'm managing right now. In 5 years, I really hope that I, have help my clients grow to that point where it's like, okay, well, maybe I don't have the number of clients I have now, and I'm really just focusing on a few of them. And I have account managers kind of taking over the other clients that I may have. I'm trying to learn how to delegate better. Like that is I got trust issues. So I'm learning, I'm really learning how to delegate, improve on that. And then in 10 years, hopefully, and, by the grace of God, like these companies will be multi-million dollar companies, and maybe we could all come together and create something else. Like I'm always trying to strive to bring like my clients together. Like I literally will tell this client, like this one does this one does this. How can we bring y'all together and create some magic so we can continue to grow? Like I like to grow my community, and it's also being able to do it with your friends as well just makes it even better. Like it's always a good time. So I hope to create that longevity, and all of us continue to be on the same page and grow with each other. I'm just looking for growth and prosperity, and continue to grow in love and faith. So that's what I hope I see myself in the next 10 years. Maybe have created some type of residual income that is just working on its own, and I don't have to do anything. Like it's just there running in the background.
See, I'm happy you can answer questions like that. Somebody asked me that question, I'd be like, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm like, it's a day-by-day situation on these parts over here. But no, that's what's up. So I told you earlier that every person that I speak to, I love for takeaways to be given to the listeners. If you could offer 3 tips of advice for anybody looking to be in a similar situation as you, be it they want to take the skills that they learned from school or things that they have within their possession and turn it into a business to where they're helping others, or looking just for ways to be able to monetize the things that they are knowledgeable about, what would those 3 tips be?
The first one is definitely don't be afraid to fail. I don't know how much I can like stress that. Like I think I've had so many different companies that I've like worked in, or people we've had ideas, and they just didn't happen. But it helped me learn to be able to like create better opportunities for the future. It helped me create better opportunities for the future. But also too, in my current position, like I feel like my business management company, or even the companies that I'm managing, like, we're in a good space. Like, we're in really good spaces, but we still fail, like, at some of the daily things that we do, because even if we come together and have a sound idea and we try to execute and it doesn't work, like, you have to be okay with, like, it failing. Like, it's okay. Like, you're learning how to figure it out and to do whatever is best. The second thing would be to execute. Make sure you're executing whatever idea and to the best of your ability. No shortcuts. Somebody told me not to even like walk through the grass, because you're mentally setting yourself up to shortcut in life. And I'm just like, but I could just walk through the grass. Like, it's easier. And they're like, that's the problem with, our society today. Like, don't take shortcuts. Like, execute fully. Like, if you have to walk around the whole thing, like, walk around the whole thing. But I'm like, isn't this smarter? But execution, completion factor. Carlin's mom taught me that execution, completion factor, like, it matters. It very well matters. And somebody's always going to look at you and say, okay, regardless of this person has gotten it done, they have listed out the ways why it couldn't, what they did to make this work and the ways that it didn't work. Like, you want to be able to show all of that, your processes. And then the third thing would just, like, do everything in love. Like, if you don't love something, then don't do it, because you're not going to be happy at the end of the day. You're not going to be happy with work, getting up at 4:00 in the morning to work on it, or staying up late to work on it. You have to do those things in love. You have to love your clients that you're bringing on, because if you don't like them, the relationship isn't going to last. Like, I've learned that, like, if I'm not truly, maybe it's not that I don't like you, but maybe our spirits just aren't aligning, it's not going to work. So those would be my 3 things. So be willing to fail, completion factor, execution, and then do everything in love. Like, those would be my 3 things that I would offer. So I think all the other things, like, if you do those things, you'll be successful.
And I love those tips because they are very, like, applicable. And I think that a lot of times when it comes to business and work and things of that nature, that enough attention is not given to, like, emotions.
Right.
Too many times we're, told to suck it up and things of that nature. And I feel like we have a lot of unhappy people in high places and spaces, to where if they applied those certain things, they could be more effective in other areas, to give more space for other people who actually like and love what they're doing, and can create a better environment for those individuals. So I thank you for that, because that's one of the key things for a few jobs that I've had. It's just like, I gotta go because I'm about to become an even meaner person, and I don't like being mean. So
right.
So it's just like, if you can be unhappy in certain situations, certain things, suck at times, but like continuous unhappiness in certain areas is not healthy for anybody. So thank you for that. Like, I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy lady. Can you please share with us some of the ways that we can follow, support, and or contact you for people who are interested in your services, some of the things that you got going on?
Okay. So still working on my website, so please excuse me for that. But I do have my email address, and I'm quicker to respond to an email than anything else. A text message, I'm terrible at texting. But if you email me, it is T as in Tom, O as in Oscar, at BERTSMIT.com. Even if you hit me on socials, I'm terrible at that as well. But if you would like, my company social is BERT, the letter N, SMIT, and that's on IG. And I try to respond, but just give me a couple of days, guys. I try not to be on Instagram like that. So just give me a couple days.
Well, I want to thank you for your time once again, and thank you for the listeners. If you know anybody, or you yourself are a unicorn, you do some interesting things, you want to continue to encourage people and show them more about what you're doing so we can continue to change the narrative on how we operate here in this world and give some people some ideas or some hope, please go ahead and comment below, message me, whatever. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.